everybody, Russian Batman back with another video, and yes, I'm in live action. I'm in this very boring looking room. I got a new microphone though. I don't know if you can hear me better or if it sounds better, but I have it. It's pretty cool. But the reason you're here is because today I'm very happy. This is the very first art kind of related. I mean, I've made some art videos, but I haven't really made a true kind of drawing video where I show you the whole drawing process and what I've made. So this is my first drawing video. I'm really happy to be making this. Hopefully I can make more like this. These videos are probably going to be very inspired by Popcross Studios. He's pretty cool. He makes a lot of just like crossover stuff. I mean, it's kind of just in the name. But he makes a lot of drawing videos, and I've wanted to do some for a while. And I know Frail Whale, who is a good friend of mine, who also does some drawing videos, kind of in a similar-ish style. He does like a monthly redraw. So for this video, I've decided to take three Batman villains, because, you know, Russian Batman, gotta do something Batman related. Three Batman villains, and see what they would look like if they were in the new kind of Matt Reeves, I think it's Matt Reeves, universe, the Robert Pattinson Batman universe. The reason why I decided to do that is because I thought it'd be interesting to see, because the thing with the Matt Reeves universe is very grounded and realistic. Like, it feels like, to a point, it almost feels too realistic. Like, Batman has to put on a squirrel suit if he wants to glide. Like, he can't just use his cape. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, I mean, it doesn't really look as cool. But so I decided to kind of take that idea of like there can't be any like magic, there can't be any like real science. It can't even be science fiction. It has to just be stuff that could actually exist. So, you know, some of the more outlandish villains, like how would they do Clayface, or how would they do Mr. Freeze? Because they're not going to give him a freeze gun. You can't actually have a freeze gun. Like, you can't shoot cold. You know, so how would you do those characters? So that's what I decided to do here. I made three drawings, and in order, I did Clayface, Mr. Freeze, or is it Dr. Freeze? I can't honestly remember. It's Clayface, Mr. or Dr. Freeze, and ManBat. The reason I decided to do those three, it's because one, Clayface, I thought that'd be interesting to see how I could do that. And I did Mr. Freeze because I know Matt Reeves said he wants to do Mr. Freeze. So I was like, what could that look like in this universe? And then ManBat because I wanted to do a third one, couldn't really think of a good one. And I think my brother suggested ManBat, and I'm like, that could be really interesting. So that's what I've done here. So, you know, without further ado, let's just get into the videos, get into the drawings, and let's just see how they turned out. And I'll take you to the speed drawing, and I'll talk through my process. So enjoy. Alright, so here I am just starting off with Clayface, and this one was one I was really excited to do because it was really interesting how I could do him. And as you can see here, just based off the initial sketch, he is not a clay monster. I know, it is very sad. He is just kind of a normal guy in a who just kind of has a skin condition. You'll see that as it comes up. So yeah, I imagine him as like I said, he's just kind of a grunt. You know, he's not. I've never actually really seen Clayface as a big major villain. You know, he's just kind of one of those villains to me who seems like. I mean, maybe he has a story where he's a big villain, but to me, he really seems like a grunt. He doesn't really seem like he can hold his own story. So that's kind of how I depicted him, as a goon for maybe a bigger villain. Maybe he works for Mr. Freeze, or maybe he works for the Joker, Riddler. I don't know. But either way, he works for someone in this Matt Reeves universe. And yeah, some character designs I decided to do. So I decided to give him, I don't know if you can see it yet because I actually don't know how well this is timing up with the video. But I gave him some suspenders and some of those professional sewer boots, I think they're called. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I gave him those so he can kind of look like a worker, and I gave it that so he could just kind of have like mud on him to, you know, kind of relate back to the Clayface. You know, it's kind of like a little reference back, and it still gives him some clay without actually making him made out of literal clay, which I thought was kind of a good compromise in that aspect. Like I said, I try to make his face really kind of deformed, and I gave him some lumps on his skin. I thought this would work because I think in the real world there are very similar skin diseases. I think there are some, like I've seen like images of like some obscure skin disease and whatnot that looks like really nasty. I'm like, hey, that could work for like a Clayface, and it. And I think I joked about this with my brother, but I was like, what if every character is just some person with a skin disease, which I thought was funny. Um, because I think the Joker is going to have like some skin disease making, so he's not going to be in a vat of acid. So that's like the realism they're going. Also added some backgrounds with all these characters, red and black. This one I like the least, just cause I don't know. I should make didn't make the red as vibrant as the others, but I'm pretty happy how the drawing turns out. So, yeah, you guys can just take a look. All right, here we have Mr. Freeze for our second drawing we got here. This one is also one actually, I'm pretty happy with a lot of these designs. Honestly, I think I said I was happy about Clayface. He's my least favorite out of all these, but I liked how Mr. Freeze turned out. The reason I obviously did Mr. Freeze is because Matt Reeves has said that he wants to do Mr. Freeze. So I thought that would be interesting to see what he would be like. The character design isn't the hard part. I think the hard part is figuring out like what his powers would be and what he would actually be like doing. See, I struggle with the pose a little bit, but I eventually get it. Um, and I was thinking to myself, well, like, how can you make ice powers? Because he can't have his ice gun, his freeze away. And I think realistically, in the story, he probably wouldn't even really be that much of a fighter. It would be more of just someone. Maybe if they wanted to go down the really villainous route, maybe he would like take people and like like he would have like a really big refrigerator that would like freeze people, and then he would like maybe knock him out, keep him to die in his refrigerator or something. I honestly have no clue. But yeah, so that's just from thinking. But I also gave him some. You can see here in a little bit. I gave him some dry ice because that is like the closest thing we have to like a super powered ice ability, because it's like really cool and can freeze stuff really quick, I think, and it just looks cool because it's always like steaming, so it gave it kind of a glow. And he's looking at some dry ice, and I imagine instead of him having a skin condition that makes him that he needs cold, I imagine that his blood's too cold, so he needs to stay warm all the time. That's why he has this big puffy jacket on. And yeah, that's the character. So yeah, I have a few more seconds to talk here, and I also gave him the red back, and I'm really happy how this one turns out compared to the other one. So yeah, enjoy. Last but certainly not least, we have the depiction of ManBat I made. I'm really happy how this guy turned out at the end. I keep on saying that. I probably shouldn't say that, but see here, this one I actually struggled with the pose the most, as you can see. I really wanted him look lanky and kind of animalistic, but at the same time not be too like animalistic, because like I said, everything has to be grounded. So you'll see this, and eventually he's just kind of a dude in a squirrel suit. Like, he's not a bat creature at all. I did try to give him some like animal, so he kind of just looks like a homeless person in a bat suit. And yeah, and like I said, with the realistic take, it is cool because like a lot of these characters can be like contrast to Batman. Like Clayface, he kind of represents like the working class or something. Because he's like a worker, I guess. And then like I don't know, Mr. Freeze can, I don't know what he would represent, but then you got this guy who could kind of represent like the homeless population or something. I don't know, because he looks pretty homeless. My lore, oh shoot, sorry, I just dropped something. My lore that I imagine for this guy is that like he was some war veteran or something, or maybe he used to be a skydiver, or someone who would use a squirrel suit, but then like became homeless for some reason. Like, I don't know, society did him wrong, dude. I don't know. There's a lot of social commentary in the Batman, which is probably maybe my least favorite part about the movie. But yeah, it's still a pretty good movie. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of gave him a skull suit, tried to make him look a little evil, gave him the little goggles so he kind of look like he has red eyes. But I'm still, and I also gave him some blue stripes to kind of make it look like that. Because I know Man-Bat has like blue pants in the comics, so I try to give him that. And yeah, gave him the background as usual. And yeah, enjoy the drawing. And that's the end of the drawings. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really happy how all of them turned out. Even though, like I said, they are kind of like if you look at a character design standpoint, they are pretty boring because like there's no mutation. There have to be real people and all this stuff. But I thought it'd be a fun challenge to see how I could kind of do them, but still make them work. Obviously, like I think if any of these designs were like actually there in the actual movie, I think the fans would probably be pretty mad about that because they are just kind of just too realistic, and like Man-Bat not being a Man-Bat, like being just a person, that kind of, yeah, I feel like they would. But it was a fun challenge to do, and I had a really good time drawing them. And yeah, and if you guys want to see more art videos like this, please let me know. I want to do more. I probably will do more regardless of how good this video does. I had some ideas. I want to do maybe some different. I had an idea of maybe doing video game characters in Star Wars. That could be fun. And there's a whole bunch of others I thought of doing, and I want to do more. So if you guys want to see more art videos, uh, give me suggestions in the comments of things I could do. I might take them, maybe. Who knows? Because I'm just like starting out with this, so it's kind of an experiment. I'm obviously I'm not gonna go full on art channel. This still is a Lego based channel, but I want to do more art stuff on the side, or yeah, and maybe if it gets big enough, maybe I'll make a separate channel. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just experimenting. So just tell me how you liked it and what you thought of the art, where you thought it was bad, where you thought it was good, somewhere in the middle. Just let me know and comment down below, subscribe, yada yada, all that good stuff. Most importantly, you need to go watch the 2011 film Rango. It is a very good film, directed by I don't know who directed it, but it's a very good film. And yeah, see you later. Ciao.